Hi, my name is Jorge, and today, I'm in junior year. I'm in the high school of Aguilas, and my speech is going to be a little bit different than what I usually like to present in front of an audience. When I tell people basketball has changed my life, they usually assume that I'm talking about discipline or competition or getting in shape. And yeah, those things matter, but that's not what actually changed me. What basketball really changed was the way that I interact with people. Before I started playing seriously, I didn't think much of how I showed up socially. I was around people all the time, but I wasn't always with them. A lot of the time, I was in my head, thinking about what I should do next, or say next, or how awkward I might sound, or what was going to happen later. What I didn't realize, or what I didn't notice, was that I was I wasn't truly there with them, and basketball doesn't really let you live like that. When you're on the court, everything happens so fast, like really fast. The sound of sneakers squeaking, someone calling for the ball, defender right up in your face, and you don't really get the time to think all that much. I remember a time where I was in a game and I had just made a mistake, like a really bad pass. And I could feel it sitting in my head. But before I even had time to process it, the ball came right back to me, and I just had to keep on playing. Had to pass again, had to play, had to dribble, had to do everything, which I thought I couldn't do at the moment. And that second, which I passed and I like made a mistake, I passed to the wrong guy, was enough to make me sort of lose the play. And I remember my teammate, he wasn't angry. He wasn't mad at me. He was just waiting. Like, I trust you, but you truly have to be here. And that's when it truly clicked for me. If you're replaying a mistake you just made or just had, you're already behind. If you're worried about how you look, if you miss what's actually happening in front of you. The game kind of forces you to be present whenever you want to be or not. At first, that was uncomfortable for me. But then something interesting started to happen. I started trusting people without even having to talk to them and without overthinking it. You pass the ball because you have to. There's no time to hesitate, no time to question if they're ready or not. And over time, that builds something. Not just chemistry on the court, but real connection. These weren't just people I played with anymore. They were people I felt understood by, even when we weren't talking. Like when you make eye contact for half a second and you both just know what you're supposed to do. And you both just know what's about to happen. And that was new for me. Basketball also taught me how to deal with tension. On a team, someone's always going to mess up. Might be you, might be your teammate. There are moments where everything feels frustrating. You miss a shot and you airball, or just bad communication. People get annoyed. But you can't shut down. And you can't just walk away. You talk it out, you adjust, and you keep playing without even realizing it sometimes. And I started doing that off the court too. I think the biggest place where I saw that change was in my relationships, and specifically, this is going to get personal, but with my mom. Because before, I had trouble being patient sometimes. If we argued, or if she didn't understand me, I would just sometimes walk away, or I would get frustrated quickly. I would shut down and stop listening. It felt easier to disconnect than to work through it. And sometimes it is, and sometimes we feel like that. But basketball does not give you that option. You can't just stop in the middle of the game because you feel uncomfortable. It's not how the game works. You stay in it. You figure out what's happening, and you just keep going, even though it feels frustrating. And slowly, I started bringing in that same mindset into those moments with her. Instead of reacting right away, I would pause, like I would on the court sometimes, and instead of shutting down, I would stay in the conversation a little longer. Try to understand where she was coming from, and be patient even when it wasn't easy. And obviously, everything didn't change overnight, but over time, it did change us. Our conversations got better, less about winning the argument and more about understanding each other. There was more space, more calm, and more connection. And I don't think that that would have happened if basketball hadn't taught me how to stay present in those difficult moments. Because that's probably the biggest thing that basketball gave me. The idea of being fully there. When you play, there's no future, there's no past, just the present, the next pass, the next movement, and the next moment. And slowly, that mindset followed me into the real world. I became a listener. I stopped half paying attention, and I stopped thinking so much about what came next, and started appreciating what was actually happening in the present. And that changed my relationships more than any skill ever could. Looking back, basketball didn't magically make me more social. It taught me how to be present. And when you're present, relationships stop feeling forced. They become natural, real. So now, when I think about basketball, I don't just think about games, scores, my free throw technique, or the layup I didn't put up last night. I think about that moment on the court when I hesitated and how it taught me to show up, to truly be present. I think about the trust between my teammates, the tension we work through, and the patience that I learned. I think about how the sport taught me how to connect and how to trust. Communicate was also something that the sport taught me, and the ability to show up for people around me. And honestly, that's the part of basketball I'll carry with me long after I've stopped playing and long after I will be able to physically play basketball. Thank you.